GoreCast is brought to you by American Horrors, the greatest uncut horror channel in the world. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all horror. As well as the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head,
America's longest running horror channel, www.withoutyourhead.com.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
What's up, everybody? Party people, it's Tuesday, which means we are going to be talking about some original versus remake. Tonight's episode featuring the letter Nightmare on Elm Street. That's more than a letter, it's a lot of letters.
Right. Hey?
I don't know. I was going to try to be Sesame Street, but whatever. Brought to you by the letter. Half of these movies are a bunch of bullshit.
Wow. This is going to be a fun show. All right.
Hot take. Everybody, if you got seatbelts nearby, you better fasten them. Sorry, so you're gonna be on a ride.
Hey, quick shout out. Katie says, "Good evening, Buzz and Carter." So, hey, Katie, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Katie. Katie drew or did some kind of sweet picture of me eating ice cream from our last episode.
Dude, that
was
looks
amazing.
Sick. I liked it.
I probably maybe should have mentioned that to Johnny because he could have probably pulled it up, maybe, but. Okay, so I appreciate that, Katie. It's weird that someone actually put time and effort into making something about something stupid that I did, because Lord knows I do lots of stupid things. So if anybody puts any time and effort into making a picture of that, I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, I thought that was cool looking. She did a good job.
Yeah, she posted it on the GoreCast Facebook page after she commented on our last episode, because I was a little school child and I went and got ice cream during the episode because I guess that's my thing. I get up and leave every once in a while. Oh yeah, my arm was a bit twisted by Johnny, where he was like, "You better get ice cream or you're not going to get it." So that was my two options. So you give me those two options, I'm going to get ice cream.
Nah, I think you picked a good choice there. I would have gone for ice cream.
It was a okay average ice cream. Okay, there we go. I was stalling. I was doing my best to stall. I was running out of steam. So while it's loading up, how are you doing today, Carter?
I'm good, dude. How about you?
I'm doing good. It's Tuesday. My throat was a little dry. And yeah, I had to endure Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, and it was, it hurt. It hurt me.
Yeah.
It hurt me deeply.
Oh, yeah.
So.
No, Katie said you're welcome. It was hilarious. # Buzz Appreciation post. Also, thank you.
Yes. With a tear in my eye. I appreciate it. So I don't know if everybody saw it yet or not, because I'm still trying to stall if he hasn't put it up. Okay, good. Now I can move on. It's like, I'm stalling.
So we got any good news this week?
We got news. I don't know how good it is, but we got news this week. Depending on your outlook on these topics. For one thing, New Mutants still postponed.
But I keep seeing them in the news. Like, it's weird.
Yeah. Supposedly, for those who don't know, this is kind of an off news topic that John doesn't know about because I'm just doing it right now. San Diego Comic-Con, virtual San Diego Comic-Con is taking place this week, and there's supposed to be a New Mutants panel. So Got some information later on this week on that. Yeah, they're like, we brought all of these people here to tell you the movie still ain't coming out yet. Yeah, that's true. The panel will probably get postponed. Like, due to unforeseen circumstances, the panel will be postponed till future endeavors. But to the actual news this week, we got a new movie featuring Megan Fox of Transformers fame and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fame, and whatever else she is in fame.
Jennifer's Body.
There you go, Jennifer's Body. The movie is called Ravenous, and Fox plays a battle-hardened mercenary. She is a team leader that leads. She spontaneously combusted.
I just trying to picture that one, dude.
Her as a team lead? Yeah, her of any authority whatsoever? Yeah, right. It's hard to picture. We'll see how well this movie does it. Pretty sure it's not going to look good.
Like that open screams like Tromaville or some shit.
Her and her team, or she leads a team to rescue some hostages in Africa. But as things go awry, the squad must encounter a bloody, brutal encounter. I don't know why that said encounter twice, but it says it must encounter a bloody, brutal encounter with a gang of rebels and a horde of ravenous, enraged lions. So, I guess lions that you're going to be going after a fox. Ha ha! Megan Fox.
Oh, like what you did there.
The pun machine is out.
So, like, the lion is supposed to be like the focus, like
sure. I do, the all I wrote down is all I got from it. It doesn't really go further in depth. I hope so, because I'm pretty sure Lion can carry the scene better than a Megan Fox. So I'm fingers crossed.
No, that's a given.
So
I was just trying to figure out. I'm like, I usually do horror, so like I guess something's gonna be weird with the lions, like.
Yeah, probably kind of like I don't know, that movie Prey, where there was like lions and stuff, I believe.
Oh,
maybe similar to that, maybe. I mean, obviously not the same exact setup, right, but maybe something similar with the lions at least.
Because it just sounded like some, like, you know, wannabe action flicks. I was trying to like, okay, I guess it could be cool if the lions are deadly. I don't fucking know. It's Megan Fox.
Yeah. As long as she's half naked, that's all their demographic is wanting. So, look for this movie to be coming out August 28th. I believe it'll probably be VOD and DVD, Blu-ray, all that good stuff. So, next news bit is yet another movie that will be coming out. Actually, coming out today. Today, it's available today. The Trees Have Eyes. Old guy. Yes. So The Trees Have Eyes will be about it'll be while in the search of a fleeing felon, a group of bounty hunters head into a New England forest in hopes to capture the dangerous man. While on their hunt for the murderer, they run into an endless horde of the undead. With no shelter, no help, and no end in sight, survival seems hopeless. So, think Dog the Bounty Hunter meets Night of the Living Dead.
I'm sold.
Yeah. As long as someone says, like, hey, get off the ice, brah. That's all I need to hear. That happens. This movie is sold for me, because that's Dog the Bounty Hunter to a T.
Right.
So always worried about the people on that ice. Just get off of it. I used to do it. Yeah. But that hits DVD and video on demand today. So you could go to your local store that has DVDs and you can purchase this. Or you can go on your, VOD. Not the venereal disease, video on demand. And you can rent it. Not say, I don't know, maybe this gives you a venereal disease. We don't know yet. It just came out today. Who knows?
We shall see.
Yeah, so something. I don't want to say it's new, obviously, because zombies have been around for forever. But you haven't heard a lot of forest zombies, I don't think,
Right.
really. So maybe they'll have, campfires, some kumbaya, and then some brains being eaten.
Same game, different location.
There you go. That's you would think that after since the 40s, 50s, 60s, however long zombie movies have been a thing, you'd think they'd step the brake pedal a little bit. You're like, too much zombies.
Man, I don't mean to be an ass, but like I am getting kind of tired. I'm getting a little burned out.
There hasn't been a ton of advancements, and if they are, they're like very like sporadic. Like there's a movie that'll come out, and then like that's like, oh, this changes the game, but we won't make anything after it to follow up on it.
Well, I mean, like you look at Zombieland. I think that was the first time in a few that I really enjoyed like a good zombie film.
Yeah, this is the same movie. Another one that's kind of been out for a while now because it was like 2008 was that I really enjoyed was Pontypool. Like that was
oh my god, yes!
I'll like
freaking that one.
I'll go on the mountaintop and be like Pontypool because I love that movie.
Yes, dude, I always forget about that fucking movie.
Just the way that like the zombies are kind of introduced via the spoken English words. And are you wearing a Punisher shirt right now?
Yeah.
We're kind of like twinsies. We're twinsies tonight. Ooh, yeah. We didn't prep this at all.
Oh, that's the weirder part.
I have like a rotation of shirts that I pretty much wear every.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like Captain America Day or Deadpool. Ooh, Deadpool.
Or Punisher.
Right.
So, but yeah, so if you want to, that Trees Have Eyes, like I said, is out as of today. So, should be an interesting movie to check out. The last movie on the list is a escape room type movie called Escape, Puzzle of Fear. This movie follows Matthew Blake, a Hollywood agent with a dark past. He believes that he is on his way to a double date at a escape room in LA, a new escape room in LA. But when they get there, they are locked in, and Matthew finds out that he is the center of a revenge plot. Right the wrongs of his deadly past. And that will be hitting DVD and video on demand August 18th. Didn't they make an escape room or movie or something called Escape Room?
Okay, see, that's right. That's
what I
thought.
There was one specifically called Escape Room, but okay.
Because like that's when you posted that in the. Because when you posted that in the chat, I was like, dude, are we covering something old? Usually, like, we're current. Because I was thinking of, like, man, I could have sworn shit came out, like, a couple months back or, like, a few months back. I don't know.
Yeah, when I was reading the article, it said that, like, there was, like, a sequel to one of the already ones that was already out. But, like, while that one's still being worked on, this one's going to be brought up to tickle our fancies until another escape room. I don't know. I've never been to an escape room, so I've heard they're very fun. So I don't really have much to say on the escape room in general, and I haven't really seen any escape room movies. So
right.
I'm sure sounds like it has an interesting plot in a way, the guy thinking, this is going to be a fun night, it turns out that, revenge. Okay. Well, yeah, revenge is a dish best served escape.
Brian Murphy just joined in real quick to say it's very, very Yaldi movies I've actually seen, and generally it's times when I can't stick around and watch, like now. Bastards. Oh, and hi.
Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of how we figure out our schedule. We're like, is Brian Murphy able to show up? Yeah. No, he can't. Okay, we'll do something. Yeah. And the funny thing is, Brian, it's the same as me because we cover movies that pretty much I've never seen either, and these guys know, and which is why I think they pick the movies they pick because they're like, "Oh, Buzz hasn't seen this one, and they hasn't seen this one either." Which I guess is more on my end because I probably just need to watch more fucking movies.
Oh, dude, that's why I'm always like, when you're like, "Hey, you want to do this week for this week on the OBR?" I'm down for it, dude.
Curtis is the easiest co-host.
You want to pick, dude? I don't care.
Like, just leave me alone. Let me watch Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 because I hate this movie. And
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, no, totally.
So yeah, yeah. I keep going on, and we still got a little bit before we piss all over that movie. We got the original to go through first. So, but yeah, that's it for the news bits. Thank you for briefly watching, Brian, and hopefully the rest of your evening, day, morning, whatever it is, as well. He's that. Oh, okay. I was gonna say that doesn't tell me anything, but I guess yes, it does because it tells me what his current time is. All right. So, Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. We're good.
Katie kills me. Will Buzz put this movie in his pocket? Find out next Tuesday.
If it has a little old lady, then it's going in my pocket because it's where you put little old ladies in your pocket. Oh yeah.
Oh God. Oh, the fact that she keeps all of our weird shit.
So, Nightmare on Elm Street, directed by Wes Craven and starring Heather Langenkamp and John Saxton and oh my God,
dude, come on, dude, come on,
Robert Englund. Jesus Christ!
Here we go. Okay.
Jesus Christ! Oh, I should be punished.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Man, Nightmare on Elm Street 2010's got me fucked up tonight. All right. So we start off the film with Tina, who, in a way, we kind of think the way the movie starts off with is probably going to be our main character, just because we start off the movie with her.
Yeah, that was a nice little kind of a misdirect.
Yeah. She's we start the movie with her having a dream, a nightmare. She's being hunted by Freddy Krueger. Frederick Krueger. He kind of goes after her a little bit. She wakes up and in a cold sweat, and she has some slash marks on her stomach, or not on her stomach, but on her nightgown. Meaning whatever she did, what's that?
Near miss.
Okay, yeah. Meaning whatever just happened in her dream got a little bit too real. So the next day, she kind of tells her friends about it. We're introduced to Nancy, Glenn, and Rod. Great name. Love that name, Rod. Glenn is played by
Garcia?
No, Glenn. Jesus Christ. Why are names?
Oh, Johnny Depp?
Depp. Why are the most common names, most famous actors are just pooped out of my head tonight?
Dude, fuck it. Just call everybody Alex. We'll go with it.
Yeah, Rod played by Alex Winston. Wow. So yeah,
girlfriend Alex.
Yeah. So Jesus. Tina tells Nancy and Glenn about her nightmares. Kind of find out that they're kind of all having the same similar nightmares with the same creepy dude in there with his burnt face. So Nancy and Glenn decide to stay at Tina's house because she's all freaked out. And then Rod shows up scaring everybody. And then they go and do it in the bedroom because it's an 80s horror movie. So we got to have that happening.
Right.
So Tina and Rod fall asleep. Everybody else in the house is asleep. The one thing I love about this movie is just such great imagery.
Oh yes, dude.
The scene with Nancy laying in the bed and like the Freddy shadow, not shadow, but like the pushing against the ceiling where you can see the hands and the face coming through, which they fucked up in the 2010 version. God damn it. And
it was, dude. They did such good imagery in this one.
some of the most iconic scenes in like all horror all come from this movie. There's about 3 or 4 of them that I can name off that just come directly from this movie.
Well, like the Johnny Depp, like that's another one you see all the time.
Yeah. One of them is what we're going to get into now. Was Tina, and like I said, everybody's in the house sleeping. Tina's in the middle of a dream. She's attacked by Freddy again. This time, she gets pulled up the wall and up onto the ceiling. Just crazy for the time period in '84. Rod is awoken from hearing her scream. She kind of gets swung at him and knocks him off on his ass.
Dude, he handled that in a really good panic.
Yeah.
Or like waking up to see his girlfriend floating. It just
pretty much. And she gets killed by Frederick. Rod pretty much is like, he books it because he's like, well, I'm the only one in the room, so we're going to pinpoint this on.
I kind of feel like he handled that justly. Like, okay, here I am covered in blood. I gotta go.
The door was locked from the inside, so no one else could get in. So, suspect number 1, Mr. Rod.
Right.
So the next morning, Rod is arrested. He tries to get Nancy's attention after she's going to school the next morning after Tina's death. And then the bombardment of cops start swarming in. And Nancy's father kind of uses her as a little bit of bait there. Like this crazy salt bitch, John Saxton.
And dude, I was going to say her dad, John Saxton, I dig him, dude. He's been in so many fucking things.
Yeah. Like they kind of say, or I don't remember some video I watched, like a lot of these 80s horror movies and kind of 70s, they always kind of get that like iconic, actor or actress to kind of play some kind of part. John Saxton in Nightmare, you had Betsy Palmer in Friday the 13th, you had Donald Pleasance in Halloween. You always had that veteran presence to kind of, wouldn't say, might bring a little bit of star power, but just notability.
Yeah.
Especially with horror franchise where a lot of the people coming in are more unknown because
you have such a young cast that are kind of thrown to the shredder. It's good to have like at least a few faces that you can sit there and go, oh hey, there we go.
Yeah. So Rod gets arrested. Nancy goes to school. She falls asleep in school. She starts seeing some crazy visions. Tina like in a body bag getting drug along the hallways of the school. The little hall pass lady with the Freddy sweater and the Freddy glove. You're like, no running in the hall. No.
Okay, and what really surprised me was she has such a small part, but Lynn Shay, the teacher where she falls asleep in class, she's owned like the Insidious franchise.
Oh yeah. Owned about Mary.
What was that other one? I think it was called like Dead End. But it was just cool to see her, but with such a small part.
Yeah. Nancy is awoken from her dream in the middle of class. She leaves. She ends up going back to the police station and kind of like, wants to talk to Rod to kind of, hear his side of the story because she really didn't get a chance to talk to him much because we had the cop ambush pretty much right after they talked for like 10 seconds. He kind of is like, it was just like somebody was in the room with us, but you couldn't see anybody. So Nancy's kind of connecting the dots and, it's kind of like, all right, well, maybe this is Freddy. She invites Glenn over to kind of, keep an eye on her while she sleeps, because she's kind of getting, this idea that what happens in her dreams is going to affect her in real life. So she wants Glenn to kind of, stay by, just so he sees her in distress, he can wake her up. Well, Glenn fucked up. He fell asleep.
Yeah.
So, not a good boyfriend.
Like one fucking job, dude.
Yeah, one fucking job. Luckily, I think she set an alarm, or no, or did she just wake up? I know she does at some point. Okay.
She sets an alarm at one point, but this time she is like, the panic kick-started her. She looks over and there's Johnny Depp like asleep in the chair, like half a foot away from her.
Yeah. So then later on, Rod is actually killed while in jail. Nancy and them, because she wants them to go check on. She comes to the police station and her dad's there. She's like, I just want to check out and make sure he's okay, because she fears that Freddy is going to be after him too. So, which was happens. Freddy kind of shows up, ties a little blanket around Rod's neck, pulls him and hangs him. And then what everybody else sees is he just hung himself. So like the adults and, everybody's kind of like, well, what else did he was going to do? He's pretty much, going to be charged with murder. He didn't have anything, live for or whatever. He's just going to kill himself. So they didn't really, think too much of it on their end. But
I was just going to say, it's also important to say, like, no matter how much distress all of these kids are in, and they're all like, oh, there's claws, there's a guy, a sweater. All the parents are like, dude, you're high, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, they completely try to dismiss them and push them back, stuff like that, even though they're like naming off key things that all the adults know are important.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean, we only really interact with a couple of different parents, I think. I know we interact with Nancy's mom and dad, and then also Glenn's mom and dad briefly.
But it definitely, like, our lead is from the mom and dad, like, or Nancy's mom and dad. It's just, she'll say something that's like, aren't you late for school? Like, they acknowledge it, but still try to, like, kind of keep brushing it off at every turn.
And so after Rod's funeral, Nancy's mom decides that it's probably for the best for her to go to like a sleep disorder clinic to kind of figure out what's going on. So they do that. They take her. They go to sedate her and to have her sleep, so they can kind of like look at the charts and see what's going on. At first, she's kind of okay. Then she ends up encountering Freddy again. Then she starts to flip out. So then the team wakes her up. Well, when they do that, she had grabbed onto Freddy's hat in the dream, and then she's woken up abruptly, and she actually pulls Freddy's hat out of the dream, which gives her now this new notion that she can pull things from her dream into the real life, because she's able to do that with Freddy's hat.
And we also see like that first spark of, I'm going to beat some ass.
Yeah. That's one of the things they do really well with Nancy's character here, is they really make her a person that kind of, not to knock like Jamie Lee Curtis, from like there being able to, she shows initiative. She goes, she reads the book about, the different traps and stuff like that she could set.
Right. Like,
it really puts a lot of that initiative.
Oh, yeah. She started like doing some straight up Home Alone shit. Like, she realized she's about to fuck somebody up.
Yeah. Shortly after Nancy comes home, her bedroom, her whole house is like all barred up. Windows, doors, everything. She can't like literally get out of the house if she wants to, because her mom is trying to, whatever she can think that's going to protect her, she's going to attempt. So keeping her locked inside the house somehow is going to protect her. I don't know. So that ends up happening. She tries to call. She calls Glenn. Glenn's actually sleeping, and then like the parents answer the phone, And they're like, Glenn's asleep, he'll call you tomorrow. And then dad doesn't even hang up the phone so that like Nancy can keep calling. He just like leaves the like receiver like laying down so that they can't like she can't call him. And then Nancy flips out. Another one of the iconic imagery. She pulls the whole cord out of the phone at her house, and then she goes to leave, and then the phone rings. She's like, "How's my phone ringing?" After I just yanked it out of the wall.
Right.
And she answers it, and it's Freddy Krueger on the other line, and she's like, "I'll be your boyfriend." And then the little tongue coming out of the phone.
And we're starting to see a lot more growth in his power. It's no longer just like we saw him the strongest when you're asleep, but now we're starting to see in real world kind of crossovers.
Yeah. And then so this goes into Glenn. He ends up, like I said, falling asleep, and he ends up being attacked by Freddy, pulled underneath his bed, and then just blood just pours out of the bed.
Oh, dude. Yep.
Just I want to say a bucket of blood, but there was multiple buckets of blood.
I was gonna say, yeah, definitely a few buckets.
There was like a whole sea, an ocean of blood just spewing out of the bed. Just like I said, another iconic scene. One of my favorite lines is when John Saxon, his character, shows up at the house, and they're like, "Well, what did the coroner have to say?" He's like, "Well, he's been in the John puking his guts out since he saw the whole thing."
Right.
That was one of my favorite lines in the movie. So, like I said, after that, and we kind of touched on it a little bit, Nancy starts to kind of set her booby traps up. She's going to kind of go in and try to pull Freddy out. And she wants to make sure she has stuff in place for when that happens, that she can put an end to him once and for all, which she does. She's able to pull Freddy out of the dream. She ends up setting him on fire. He runs down to the basement. She calls out for her dad, who, like I said, is across the street with the Glenn's house with the investigation there. They end up going to the house. They break the door down. A few of the cops come in. You can see like the footprint going down, like the burning footprints leading downstairs, or no, leading upstairs. I'm sorry. Nancy and her dad run upstairs, and like Freddy's just chilling on top of Nancy's mom, all on fire and everything. And then they kind of just like disappear. Like it was kind of didn't really understand what was going on, especially if Freddy was brought in the real world.
Right.
She like turns into a skeleton and like does this like descent, and there's like freaking smoke coming out. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
As much as I love the movie, the last few minutes of the film definitely get weird. And really like don't, like, I'm not saying don't hook up with the rest of the film, but they just don't make as much sense as a lot of the other shit in the film.
So after that happens, her mom descends into the bed, and then the bed becomes normal again. We'll buy it. John Saxon leaves, and then Nancy is like in the room by herself. And then we see Freddy kind of start to rise from the sheets. You know, he rips open the sheets. He's all burned from being, like I said, set on fire. And then she just has her back to him. She's like, I refuse to give you any more power. Like,
dude, just straight up fucking boss mode too.
She just cold shouldered that motherfucker.
Right.
And he's just like, what? And she's like, I take away every bit of power I gave to you. You can't hurt me anymore. And he kind of goes into like attack her, and he just like disintegrates or whatever, digitizes. I don't know what that fire happened there. Just disappears.
No, she straight fucking kicked him in the sack, boss mode.
Yeah. And then she opens the bedroom door, and then she walks out, and it's like the next morning, and she's on the like her porch. I was like, what is going on here? Like the ending was just kind of like.
And then like she hops in the car with all the fucking people that we've watched die. Later, mom. Later, sweetie. Like it's all just copacetic. You know, like I say, as much as I dig the film, the last few minutes really just don't add up.
I know some of that might have been like the studio, because I know as most of the horror movies originals that have happened, there was really no intent for a sequel.
Right.
So, but the studios, you know, always want their sequel, so they always want, you know, that loose ending, so that there's a way to, because Wes Craven didn't want to end it the way that the movie ended. I forgot
really?
exactly. Yeah, I forgot exactly. I think it just ended the way like he disappears, and I think that was it. Some bit. I don't know what's going on.
I am listening to you happily, bro, and try not to picture your sex tape. You know, Katie pointed out Nancy is definitely the best final girl in her, and she is, dude. Like Nancy, like she's scared, she grows, and then she's like straight up, "Fuck you, I'm gonna own this shit." She does the traps. She's like, she is ready to fucking go to war with this motherfucker.
You know what else she owns is the random gray hair that she got. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. She just had like a chunk of gray hair.
Like I guess like she's scared, right? Like she got scared. Like oddly enough, like I completely passed over that with like believability. Like something just, she hit that fucking level of fear that just kind of like gave her that gray patch, and I was cool with it. Like I said, it was just the weird, ending of like the drop top and Freddy's sweater and mom getting sucked through the window. I'm just like, wait, what? I thought all these people were fucking dead.
And as cheesy as that looked, it worked though.
Right.
I'm getting stuck through the window.
But like we both said, dude, the effects were just so fucking awesome in this one, and the visuals. And I personally, like, as much as good as the films got later on, and like you definitely had other awesome kills and visuals, this one was probably my favorite out of all of them.
The thing I look at with Nightmare on Elm Street, like, they're not my favorite when it comes to like maybe franchises. Like I like Halloween, Texas Chainsaw is a bit shoddy. Friday the 13th and Halloween at least. Like I don't go out of my way to watch a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street movies, except maybe one or two of them, which is this one being one of them. And the Dream Warriors, and then Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Those are my like three out of the Nightmare franchise. Other than that, the rest of the movies they're okay. They're just nothing special to me.
What about Freddy versus Jason? Does that kind of fall in there?
I wasn't a super big fan of it because the thing of it is there was so much expectation for that film. It was bound to fail. Not fail, but not
like. I don't think it was going to ever really meet anybody's like full expectation.
Yeah,
I thought it was like damn good though.
I felt they went to 2000s horror for me with that. It seemed like any other 2000s horror movie, just with these characters mixed in it. I don't know.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like because it had like that dark, heavy kind of fucking murder horror, but then I kind of liked the more upbeat when him and Jason were going at it. Like he's kind of fucking laughing about some shit, doing some corny shit. Like I really dug that. Like
those scenes were great. The fight scenes and stuff were really good. I just think the rest of the movie just was a bunch of filler. I don't know. The story, I guess, was okay. They had knockoff Jason Mewes in the movie because there was a guy who literally was like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Yep.
The blonde dude.
That's right.
He was literally Jason Mewes from Jay and Silent Bob. They probably might as well just have casted him. It probably would have been a hell of a lot better. Yeah, it could have been him. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of Kelly Rowland. I did not like her character. She was
I didn't really like her.
And like some of the stuff didn't make a whole lot of sense. Were like stuff that Freddy did in the dreams is supposed to affect you in real life, and he like sliced her nose off during a dream, but she was fine. I was like, the continuity is just not.
I kind of took that as like he still hadn't really achieved power level yet.
I can get that, like that cop out. I can accept that.
So like like you said, man, it's not necessarily the greatest franchise, but I still think they did pretty good. And based off of what this is, like I thought the foundation was really solid for what the franchise came to be.
Yeah. And what I was going to say before we went off that tangent was for the genre at that time, especially with slasher films, it was kind of already getting almost stale because of the countless knockoffs of like Friday the 13th and stuff like that, where Nightmare on Elm Street was like a breath of fresh air, where it was something different. So it really stood at the time. Was a really big thing. And like I said, that was only 84. You still had a whole other almost 6 years of the 80 slasher genre to go. But I thought that was really pivotal. It came out at the right time.
And,
Okay. Sorry about that.
So yeah, no, I can definitely see what you're saying with that old breath of fresh air, because it was, and it was funny because I think also what really, at least for me, like I don't know, like I talked to a few people, and when you talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street, it's always Robert Englund. Like he made such a phenomenal character. Like it fell into that, like, okay, your kid fucking hates you, like
and a lot of it was because of the personality.
Character.
Like the killer had a personality, which maybe with the first film wasn't fully developed yet, as like because this was more of a darker style of Freddy because it was the first film. We didn't get that comedic presence till later on sequels, but he wasn't the Jason that wore a mask and didn't say anything. Michael, Leatherface, you had to be synonymous with Robert Englund because he brought the presence to Freddy, as opposed to just a stunt man that can take some good, stunts like the other guys.
And, back in the day, I'm like, after seeing this and a few others, I'm like, dude, who else could fucking make this character? Nobody. And then we got the remake, and I'm like, nope, it's true. Like, I don't know, like, he made that character what it was, and the icon that it is.
Yeah. So, I think that's about all we can really say for the original. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go ahead and cut in a trailer, and we'll both, take a few shots, here before we talk about the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street, because it's gonna hurt, guys. It's gonna hurt. So,
which works for me. I need to refill. So,
trailer time.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
We just see cuts happening.
What did that, Lieutenant?
I don't know.
What has the coroner got to say? He's in the jar and puking since he saw it.
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy? There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
No!
She's the only one who can stop it. If she fails,
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
no one will survive. From Wes Craven, director of The Hills Have Eyes and Last House on the Left, a new masterpiece in fantasy terror, Nightmare on Elm Street.
And that was the trailer for I almost said the 2010. Wow. The 1984 Nightmare on Elm Street, the good one. Starring, let's see if I can get it right this time, Robert Englund, John Saxton, Johnny Depp, and others.
Okay, so quick thing. You got two things. One, Cindy said she liked the nose thing in the remake with what's her name getting her nose sliced off. Kelly Rowland. There we go.
I apologize.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was pretty good. Like, I liked it because I didn't really like her. So anything bad that happened to her, okay, cool.
She did get fucked up at the end, which I did appreciate. Right. I'm not gonna say that. I almost did, and then I was like, stream will get shut down. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I do understand what you're saying with like not having the full powers. So I don't know. It's never been an issue before, but I guess he's always had full powers. So I guess. Yeah.
Katie brought up, because I hadn't heard about this. Have you guys got an opinion on the idea of Kevin Bacon to take over the Freddy role?
I've heard that that's a rumor. I know Robert Englund.
I had not. Like, I hadn't heard or seen anything about that. I dig Kevin Bacon. Like, I'm not going to shit on him or nothing, but I just don't know. Like, I dig him, but I kind of feel like if he did it, it would be more the, like, serious remake than it would be, like, the lighter Robert Englund.
Which, unfortunately, I think anything that comes out nowadays is going to be the direction, because I don't think that style of character will work in 2020. I think people are more. I mean, I'm not saying that's what people want to watch. Like, I personally like the comedic, Freddy, but it just seems like they want to go more scary, more realistic, more this and that. Right. And I was feeling if they do it like they did in 2010, it's going to be the more serious version. Kevin Bacon's a great actor.
Oh yeah, dude, I've a lot of his shit, and he does have range. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you look at Tremors, he had funny parts and shit. I just don't think he could do like it would. Like you were saying, it would have to be like the dark kind of heavy, like what we saw in the remake, more than like that lighthearted. Yeah, that sounded weird. The more enjoyable Freddy.
I know he got a endorsement from Robert Englund, so if he's cool. Yeah, and Hollow Man. Yep.
Well, and like Hollow Man is...
Yeah. I don't know if they heard you or not. So I'm just like reacting to. Okay.
Like you look at Hollow Man. Yeah, I dug the movie and I dug Kevin Bacon in it, but I feel like that only reinforces it would be that darker Freddy with a more of a twist to it. Roddy pointed out, because Roddy's with us tonight, that and I've lost it. I think if we're going to bring Freddy back, they should get an unknown. And I'm almost more on board with that, like, because as much as I like Kevin Bacon, I think almost coming up with just a new face and having somebody try to like come at it that is, I don't want to say
different aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
because like, okay, in the remake we've got Jackie Earle Haley. I dig the fuck out of him, and he's a seasoned veteran. I didn't really like his take on it. So maybe an unknown could, come up and just be
the only downside with that is, especially with studios and especially with a big franchise like that, they're going to go for names because they're going to want to attract an audience. I mean, I guess that's what any movie really is going to want to do. They're more going to go for the undercast for the unknowns as opposed to like your star.
And like that's, I guess, kind of where my concern lies. Like, like we talked about earlier, you want to get like that well-known actor around. We talked about with Saxton and stuff. And so it's going to be awesome that Kevin Bacon is Freddy. They're going to be able to wrap this whole big present around him. But,
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's been kind of a topic that's I think has been around for probably a good year or so that they've been kind of talking about that. So definitely be interesting to see what they do. it seems like they still want to have, as old as these franchises are, they still want to, kind of keep bringing them out to
And I'm not
generation.
I'm not gonna shit on it, dude. Like, if it's good, I'll still want to sit down and watch it. But Johnny pointed out, Robert Englund's like 73.
He can't play Freddy.
That's the same argument that Rod Perlman had. He's like, dude, I'm getting too old to play Hellboy. It's true. At one point, you're like, the body's willing, or the mind's willing, but the body's not. You can't be jumping around on stage or on sets doing a bunch of shit.
But it is there doing all that makeup.
Right. It's so hard to see somebody like it's cool that you're willing to pass the torch, but it's just hard to go, okay, but to who?
Yeah.
Because I don't want I get it, and then like kill a fucking franchise that's lasted this long.
I mean, they can't do any worse than Freddy's Dead and this movie. So,
okay, we're gonna jump to that one then. All right,
we're gonna go into. Huh?
Said, how you feeling about the remake?
Oh, I love it. 2010, I don't know if y'all know, but there was a Nightmare on Elm Street remake that came out. Stupid fucking Michael Bay Productions, son of a bitch. I believe. I don't know. I just assume that all horror remakes from 80s franchises came from Michael Bay. I'm pretty sure it was.
I'll blame the fact that I ran out of cigarettes on that motherfucker. I don't care. So.
So like you said, the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street.
You're actually right. That was produced by Michael Bay.
There you go. The man who ruins the 80s. He fucked Transformers. He fucked Ninja Turtles. He fucked our horror movies. Fuck you, Michael Bay. Put that under me right now. Fuck Michael Bay, if you didn't already.
Shit.
So we had the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street, fucking Michael Bay, and starring Jackie Earle Haley and a whole bunch of other people I don't give a shit about. And the movie starts off with a young fella named Dean. Dean's in a diner. Just leave it. We need to get the fuck Michael Bay out in the world.
I don't say if Buzz won't use it. I the fuck will. We're both good.
Yeah. I want to see that trending on Twitter for the however many people are watching us. So yeah, Dean. Go ahead.
Says, damn Buzz, you get grumpier.
Oh yeah. She knows she knows my extent of grumpiness. And give me something that I really fucking hate, and I will be the grumpiest fucking cat on planet Earth.
Got Jack or Katie that says, haven't seen the remake. I'm unsure if I should see it. No, you shouldn't.
Okay, so Katie, let's get real right now. Do you like poking your eyes with sharp objects? Because that's pretty much what watching the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street is like.
Right.
So if you could do that and just go get a couple of pencils, I don't know, something else that's sharp, put them in your eyeballs, and that is the experience that me and Carter just had to endure for you guys. It's all for you guys. Okay. Let's retract it. If there's anybody that needs me to tell you, don't do what I say. Do as I... Wait, no, I can't say that because I just said it. I was going to say do as I say, not as I do, but just don't listen to me. That's all I got to say. Don't listen to me. Carter, save me, please.
Okay, so Katie says, Buzz, eating ice cream.
I do have ice cream. I was going to make a root beer float.
But you're not as angry when you're hungry, or you're kind of angry when you're hungry.
Yeah, this is the typical Snickers commercial. Like just like I'm all pissed off. Someone gives me a Snickers, and I'm reviewing Nightmare on Elm Street '84. When I'm crabby, I'm reviewing Nightmare on Elm Street 2010.
No, like this remake had a couple of young up and comers, Lutz, Gallner, stuff like that. But overall, like their big heavy hitters were Jackie Earle Haley and Clancy motherfucking Brown. Buzz?
Yes.
Where was Clancy Brown from?
I don't know.
Who was she? Really?
I don't remember. I told you I don't know names.
Highlander?
Oh yeah, he was in Highlander. He was in Highlander. The person was in Highlander. But no,
what was the same?
What I want to say is that Quentin guy, he looked like the fucking dude from Twilight, Robert Pattinson. He was the face of just, hey son, Freddy Krueger's here, and that's my impersonation of him throughout the whole movie.
And it's true, but he did an awesome TV show called Outsiders that was fucking awesome.
We're not reviewing that. We're reviewing this movie.
I'm trying to tell the audience, don't hold this movie against him. He's done other cool shit.
He had one face the whole movie, and it was pouty face.
I don't like Lutz at all, but don't hold this movie against any of the fucking people in it. It was just a shit show.
I'm getting heated over here. Getting hot and bothered. Okay, we still haven't reviewed the movie yet. We've been going on for about
I kind of feel like we slowly have
10 or 15 minutes here. And I don't think one fucking of the movie has come through. So, for the third time, Dean, he's in his diner. He gets fucking killed. He stabs himself in the throat. People think he just sliced his own throat. No, Freddy did it, because Freddy kills people in their dreams. Makes it look like they did it. 1 point Freddy. There's this chick named Chris who witnessed the death of Dean in the diner. She's a friend of his. They go to the funeral of the guy. She sees some kind of picture. I guess she went to preschool with him, I guess. They're like, oh, I didn't know I went to preschool with this guy because we're right here in this picture, but I don't remember. Because they all got Men in Black, the little flashy thing. Just they turned it on. You're like, you will not remember. Right. Which is what I wish they did. Also that age bracket movie.
Right, but it was also that age bracket. I mean, they were all like super young. We found out later on.
We kind of they do a similar thing with this movie that they did in the original, where we kind of think Chris is going to be our main character, even though we know from the original that Nancy's the main character. But we kind of get that same feeling because we kind of we are introduced to Nancy early on in the diner. She works there. But then they kind of like, we'll put you over here for a little bit because we want to follow Chris. So we follow her. Chris's mom ends up going somewhere and she's left alone. Her boyfriend shows up. We get a similar scene where Freddy kills Chris in her dream. Jesse is the name of the boyfriend. He flees, but is arrested because he showed up at Nancy's house to kind of like, hey, Chris is dead and I didn't do it, pretty much. And then he kind of like leaves because I think Nancy's mom was coming in the room, and then he pretty much gets arrested immediately. Jesse ends up being killed in jail. Like none of this matters.
Well, okay, I will say if I did like the nods back to the original, like the body bag being dragged through the high school. Yeah. We see that in both films, and so like they realized what some things worked, if you know what I mean. Like the slight misdirect in the original, we thought Tina was the good out of Nancy. So like they realized what some of the key factors were in the original, and tried to kind of port them over to a degree,
which failed miserably. Like,
right.
All he really wanted to do was like, okay, this scene was good, this scene was good, this scene was good. Let's copy and paste that, move it over here, and then just kind of build a little bit of a different story, because that's all it really did.
Now, okay, Cinema is talking about, I hate the remake, but I do kind of like the idea that Freddy was a child predator. It does kind of bring something kind of new to the franchise. Now, in defense, we already knew that in the original, but it was like, oh, well, the kids and blah, blah. Like, this one was a more solidified, like, it was kind of a misdirect at first, but then we finally realized, like, it was it was a straight call out labeled in this one. And, as much as he's like, I hate the fucking movie, but that part of the story, it did kind of add a new angle to it, even though, like I said, it was already kind of sort of known in the original. Like they pegged it down this time.
The thing with that, like I if that's what you thought, I completely disagree. I thought they went too much with the child predator aspect. I think they went overboard with it, and I didn't like it.
See, I kind of like that misdirect because for a second we thought like, oh, well, we just misread the kids and we may have fucking killed an innocent guy, but then it turns out he wasn't.
And then the funny thing is we get that for what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, no, like that's
they throw it away so quick.
Right, and that's where the story kind of falls apart, unfortunately. You know, like they had cool aspects that could have made this one a decent film. I'm not going to say good, but it could have made it better than it was. But like you said, we're going to do something and then we're going to toss away in 10 seconds. You've been working for like 30 fucking minutes to build this up. You use it for 2 and then you fucking pitch it.
I will say I like the aspect of the kids not knowing that they knew each other. Like from preschool, I kind of like that. Like, hey, why are we all like a little mystery? Why da 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 da? But just the payoff just completely killed it for me because it's like, oh no, it was true. He was a child molester. Da da da. I'm like, okay, why did?
And you know, like I said, I'm gonna side with cinema because like I was like, oh God, are we gonna be like this? Freddy's not the bad guy, so I was really curious where we were going with it. You know, poor guy's running for his life. I'm like, oh shit, we completely misread. Oh no, we didn't. And then we get back into the fold of, yeah, he is the bad guy.
Yeah, because we're left with Nancy and Quentin. They're the last 2 of that group. Nancy kind of goes and starts, finds that picture, and on the back they have everybody's name from the class. She's like starting to search everybody. They're all dead. She finds that one kid who had like the YouTube video or whatever.
I kind of liked a little Asian dude that was like, hey, I'm having these nightmares. And, like we've kind of brought more because it's updated. Now we're all online, stuff like that. So he's throwing these videos up.
Vlogs, yeah.
Right. So I kind of liked that.
In the very end, the last one he does, he gets like thrown into the camera and he's dead. So pretty much the last 2 people that are left are Quentin and Nancy. They get to the point where they've had so much non-sleep that they're almost having this thing where it's like they're having little bits of sleep while they're awake.
I think they call them like micro naps or something.
Yeah, I think that's what I wrote down. I'm kind of like going all over on my notes, so I'm like going ahead of where I was. I don't know where I wrote it, but yeah, I think that's what it was, like micro naps. So you don't know what is right here, micro sleep. So they start having, like I said, a little bit of like micro sleep. So they kind of like get to the point where you don't know what's reality and what's the dream, because we don't know if they're like having the micro sleep, if they're awake. You don't know what's going on. So I kind of like that aspect because they're at the pharmacy. Quentin's trying to get a refill on his like medicine that keeps him awake. Nancy comes in because she's starting to see Freddy off and on. She freaks out, comes in there, and then she's being attacked by Freddy, but also at the same time, she's, swiping the medicine and shit off the counters. So it's like just, you don't know what's going on. So I liked that aspect. So that's like the only positive thing I can really say. I kind of like those little bits. She ends up getting her arm sliced by Freddy. Quentin takes her to the ER to get it fixed. While they want to put her under, but she refuses. So Nancy sneaks out and leaves. She meets up with Quentin outside. They drive off. Quentin actually steals a couple of shots of adrenaline to, keep them going since he couldn't get his pills. He takes one, but doesn't take. He was going to give Nancy the other one. She refuses because she's like, you don't know what it's going to do to you. He's like, fuck, I don't give a shit. He takes it. He's kind of.
Because we're down to the wire. Like it's either I'm gonna kill myself or he's gonna kill me. Either way, I'm fucking done. Like that's where we're at this point in the film.
They decide they're gonna go back to the preschool because they feel that Freddy's trying to lure them there because he like has some kind of secret he's trying to tell them.
And we also got that from the Asian blogs.
Yeah.
Slowly, like each video, hey, he keeps trying to get me to go here.
Yeah. The two end up showing up there. They find Freddy's room. They find, the claws. They find the pictures of Nancy. This is where I really don't like this portrayal of Freddy. And you don't see anything, but it's
no, but I think that's kind of where it's like that's the shock value because
I solidify. I'm not that. I don't know. That stuff doesn't.
But because it was implied in the first one. Now in this one, in the remake, I will give them that it's stamp of approval. This is the bad guy,
which is kind of a big thing for a bigger budget movie company to pretty much come out and say, yeah, this guy's a child molester. We don't care.
Right.
Here.
Yeah. And look what we did. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, because we get so much feed in of like, what if? Now it's like, oh yeah, nope, that checks all the boxes, and there's proof.
Yeah. Fuck. So they decided they're going to go to sleep because they're going to try to pull Freddy out of the dream. Something happens. I think it was in one of the times Nancy throughout the movie, she does the whole thing. She pulls a piece of a sweater out. I think it was when she was in the pharmacy. Going in and out of the nightmare thing, and she had ripped a piece of it out. So they kind of realized they kind of do the same thing, pull Freddy out of the dream, we can kill him in the real life, blah, 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 blah. But we have a little bit of a difference here where Freddy kind of tells her that he's kept her awake so long to where she almost is going to go into a coma where she's never going to wake up, or it's going to be, he's going to have his way with her while she's.
I was going to say, he dangles that in her face. It's like, this is not going to be a 2-second ride.
Yeah,
I plan to write this out as long as I can. Like, he's straight up telling her this is going to be fucking torturous.
Quentin finally kind of wakes up Freddy, but he's awake. He ends up grabbing the adrenaline that was supposed to be for Nancy that she didn't take. Got her right in the chest with it, wakes her up completely, and then because Freddy was on top of her, she was able to pull Freddy out of the dream. They end up setting the room on fire, which ends up setting him on fire. They escape, and Freddy is vanquished. The paramedic trucks. Go
ahead. We also during that situation, right before we get the whole paramedics, you see Nancy step up. She's saving Quentin because now we've got kind of a 2-on-1 tussle.
Yeah.
Quentin's already hurt, but he's still trying to hold his own. Nancy's thrown down. The only thing I think I didn't like about this one, well, not the only thing, as far as the Nancy character was, they did not solidify the badass that she was in the original.
No.
She just kind of lucked into the shots that she got. She stumbled off the shots.
Not to knock that kind of character, but it was almost like typical Laurie Strode. And that lucked her way into it, as opposed to took a stand and
so I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm not trying to call anybody out, but I felt like the first one was she's your heroine and she's gonna beat some fucking ass, and the remake was oh, you're lucky you both fucking survived.
Yeah. So like I said, the paramedics show up, the fire department, they put out the fire. Nancy goes back home with her mom, and then Freddy comes out of the mirror and pulls her mom in the mirror, and the movie's over. I was like, what the fuck?
And again, we go right back to that whole, the last few minutes of the film was what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will give it this is, if this was the very first Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and it didn't have a whole franchise worth of movies to compare to, this movie would have been okay because I wouldn't have had those expectations.
And I will say, we constantly give props to, if you're going to do it different.
Yes.
I do not like this film. I'm not in any way, shape, or form supporting this fucking movie, but they at least tried in certain aspects to go in a different direction to not line up scene for scene in the original. Yeah. Unfortunately, the lefts and the rights that they took overall just turned into a shit show.
Yeah.
I didn't even like the makeup for Freddy, and I
No,
mean,
I
like
was
part of
just
that
gonna
is
get into that.
you know, part
look-
of that is like, oh, it's the makeup they put on you, and it's nothing against like Jackie Haley. I'm not like, oh, dude, you just don't have a face for makeup. It's not that, but like, it just didn't.
It looked like they put melted cheese on his face.
Yeah.
It didn't look. I mean, I guess I can't like say like all like burn victims, you know, look the same, da da da. But it didn't look like it was a burn victim. It just looked like, I don't know.
It did. It looked like melted cheese. It was like, so what's the best fucking makeup artist we got? Well, that's gonna be like $20. What can I get for $1.95?
Yeah.
Like it just kind of came off like that, dude.
And he also, the whole time he talked, he sounded like Christian Bale's Batman. He's like, what are you doing? Like, I was like,
You know,
wait.
So like, you know, as I look back and I'm like, oh, so we're gonna pick a new Freddy. Yeah, this just solidifies. Not everybody can do it. Like, and like I said, you know, part of that is the story. The story was whack. Earle is good, but I just did not like the betrayal that they let him have in that. The makeup, like it just did not fit. And that's even saying like, hey, they went darker. They went more menacing in this one. And it didn't work in the franchise.
No. I don't know. Like I don't want to say I obviously abandoned everything that the franchise did before. It took the good parts of the original. They, like I said, copy and pasted it. The whole, you know, claw coming out of the bathtub, the whole, you know, pushing like the hands and the face coming through the wall. But then they had to fucking CGI it all and make it look stupid. And I don't know. It just like they struck out with me more than they hit a single. Like they had a one single, put the, you know, the story of like them not knowing they knew each other. I like that little aspect. Other than that, everything was a strikeout for me. So I think that's. Is there any comments at all, or?
It was a shit show. Like, and you know what? Right there, fuck you, Michael Bay.
Yes,
not that he was like the only fucking producer, but because
anybody have any comments in the comments or before we go to the trailer?
Let's see. You know, like we talked about how Cinema Reaper was like, you know, he again like he's not saying the movie was good, but he did like the twists and stuff here and there. You know, he didn't like his voice. It was creepy, but that's not Freddy's voice. And like it was that, you know. It was like watching the knockoff that you could always find in H-Stamp. Like it was the knockoff that you could always find when you went to Blockbuster. You had Transformers and then you had like Transmorphers. Like this was kind of that kind of thing. You know, you had like a Nightmare on Elm Street and you had like a Nightmare in your neighborhood.
I was definitely a Transmorphers all the way.
Right.
Well, I think we can go ahead and move along to the trailer, and then we'll come back and put a little bow on this episode and tell you guys what's coming up for the week of the GoreCasts, Unplugged and such.
Hello? Anyone here? Hello?
If you keep falling asleep, they're gonna kick you out of here.
Sorry. I had another nightmare last night. I can't tell what's real anymore. Is there anybody else out there that this is happening to?
Every time that I dream, there's always this man.
That's his mark, isn't it? Freddy.
Oh my God, you've seen him too. Who are you?
Remember me?
you. It's Dean, Jesse, Chris.
He's in all of our heads, Nancy. We gotta stop this.
How?
Don't fall asleep.
I haven't slept in 3 days.
We're running out of time. At the 70-hour mark, the insomniac will begin to experience micronaps. It means you're dreaming, but you don't know it. Even if you're awake.
Oh, God.
No, just me.
When is he gonna stop? What does he want from us?
Why are you screaming? I haven't even cut you yet.
I want to wake up!
I'm gonna give you a little something that'll put you right to sleep.
No!
This might sting a bit.
And that was the trailer for the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street. Couple little things before we finish the episode. Like, you were kind of talking when we were a little off camera there, or not off camera, but when we were trailers playing. You said you just kind of like didn't like the pacing of this one, where it kind of just went a little too quick.
Right.
I
like they
like
were so much into that same time frame.
it's part of me is probably because they're like, well, you kind of already know what's kind of, you know, the main idea of Nightmare on Elm Street, so we don't really have to slow things down for you. So here's just a whole bunch of shit. But that's weird thing is because like when you say that, I kind of feel like the original was kind of the same way too, yet it slowed itself down. Like that's another reason why I do like the original Nightmare on Elm Street so much is there's not the slow build at the beginning and kind of, you know, the first like half hour where we're meeting everybody. We don't know with the slow build. This one, like the original Nightmare on Elm Street, why I think it works so good is it kind of speeds up and then slows down for a little bit to kind of like catch your breath. It speeds up again, slows down. This one didn't do that. It was just speed, and it doesn't really.
Right.
Besides maybe a couple points towards the end, but by then you're already like, I don't fucking care. It's just
right.
too much
Because
going
like
on.
in the original, like it sped up. You had your action scenes, but then like it slowed down. You got to know a couple of the characters, and I didn't feel like you had that same time period in the remake. You were just supposed to get on board with these people. You know, like the Asian dude that did the fucking videos. You were supposed to get on board and feel bad. And I just like I didn't have the same amount of time to attach.
Which was also
I'm like, oh my god, not her.
Which was also bad because in the remake, majority of the times the characters are either the similar, you know, names or similar character type. These are almost completely different people. Like they had different names. They didn't have any like relation to the original counterparts. So it's like you're learning new, like you said, you're learning new characters almost, and then you don't get the time to learn like their, not say their backstory, but you don't get a little bit of time to feel for who they are, to care if they die. So it's like they did a lot of the wrong things with this remake, and that's what all equals up to just being a big pile of shit.
Oh yeah.
So is there any final comments at all before we review from the audience?
First one rocked, second one did not, and of course fuck Michael Bay.
Yeah, that's the main thing I want to get out of this.
Okay.
So that's probably going to do it for us tonight. You can join us on Thursday, where we will be back. I'm talking too fast. With another group chat episode. See how long it takes for me to disappear. It's a new running thing. See how long it takes for me to disappear in an episode.
There you
go. No, we will be doing Unsolved Mysteries, the new season on Netflix or series or spinoff or whatever you want to call it.
Series?
It's a little bit different from the original. There's no host. Yeah.
I like. While I still liked this shit, dude, it like the no host thing really has fucked me up a bit.
Yeah.
Like,
well, Johnny will have some interesting thoughts to give you guys on Thursday about a specific episode. So that's what we'll be doing on Thursday. Sunday, the lads aren't really 100% sure what they got going, but they'll let us know probably on Thursday, so we can prepare for that. And then next Tuesday, Carter and myself will be back with another episode of Original versus Remake, where we'll be looking at Night of the Living Dead, 1968 and 1990.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit of a difference. I don't know what your opinion is on the remake, but it'll be a little bit of a different opinion where I somewhat actually liked the remake, not maybe better than the original, but it wasn't a utter shit show that Nightmare on Elm Street gave us. So that's kind of what I like to do. I like to, go completely shit, and then the following week kind of like let's bring it down, simmer down. We'll get a episode that I don't have an aneurysm over. So until Thursday, I guess that shall be Carter and the Buzz out. So we'll see you people later. Bye.
Later.